You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com, America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah! Game time. What's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. And it's a Wild Out Wednesday. And oh boy, a lot of great stuff we're going to get into today, man. Thank you for joining your folk, man. Shouts out to everybody already in the chat room doing what we do, chatting. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. Bring it back one more time, man. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff today, man. We got a great show lined up for you, as we do once again every single day. Thank you for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show. All right. So as you can see from the title of the show, there's not a lot really going on in the world of sports, but we don't just talk sports around here. It's guy talk, it's entertainment, it's whatever floats your boat. So give me a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. But the easy way is just to jump in the chat room and be totally interactive. And how you do that is you go to Spreaker.com and you follow the show. First, follow the show on Spreaker, as well as download the Doug Stewart Show app. But on Spreaker, there's this little thing where you this little chat bubble, and you click on that, And then, bam, you're introduced to a whole new world of chatters. I call them the Stewies. I call it Fantasy Island of Chat. Yes, sir. So, because there's not a lot of big stories to talk about, it's kind of like a potluck. You know what a potluck is, right? And so we're going to kind of jump around from story to story to story, and I'll get your thoughts on it. And on a day like this, man, anything that you can think of that you want to talk about or something that we have talked about in the past, in the recent past, and you want to get back out there, hell, bring it back up. I mean, this is your show. I mean, it's the people's show. So thank you very much on that. We're going to talk to my man Special K a little bit later on the show. The comedian, the unofficial comedian to the Two Live Stews. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put together like a little, I guess you'd call it a series of interviews with interesting people. Most of them are probably going to be from Atlanta, but people of note, people that I think that are cool and that you would think were interesting. So I'm going to kind of talk to these people, quasi-interview them, get a little background on them as well. So that's what I'm going to try to do today with Special K. Kind of like, just imagine inside the actor studio with that dude James Lipton, but with about a 99% less budget. That's what we're going to try to do today, man, and going forward for the next couple of weeks on the Doug Stewart Show. So today, the first guy we're going to talk to is the great Special K. And if you don't know who Special K is, he's actually, I guess you would call him a contributor to the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Comedian here in Atlanta, goes on tour with Ricky Smiley. He used to come on our show all the time back in the day. So we're going to talk to Special K. He's from the A. So I'm going to talk to him a little bit today, so stay tuned for that. We also do, and this is kind of for people new to the show, we also do birthdays. We talk about birthdays, some of the more notable birthdays today, on today's date, July 8th, 2015, as well as I read a lot of your chat, okay? So once again, I mentioned it earlier about getting in the chat room and putting you up there, a cute avatar, and giving your thoughts about whatever we're talking about. So I read a lot of that throughout the show. That kind of spurs conversation as well, and that's how we do it, all right? The number to the show is 404-382-0338. Before I got on the show today, quickly let me mention this. You've seen this picture of, who is it, LeBron, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony. I got a couple little issues with this picture. They're obviously, if you haven't heard the story, they're vacationing together in the Bahamas, and there's this picture out with them on this banana boat, and there's also this picture out of these dudes, and I want to get your thoughts on this. There's this picture out with these dudes, it looks like on a boat, I guess probably a yacht or something like that, and they're drinking wine. Yeah, they're drinking wine, and they're making a toast. Couple of issues I have with this. Number one is, wine? No, and I know some dudes drink wine. I know my man Chucktown Frank drinks wine. A lot of dudes drink wine, especially in this manner. So I don't know. And hey, that's fine. Whatever floats your boat. It just kind of struck me as a little bit odd that dudes are toasting, drinking wine, especially for younger dudes like this. That was very interesting. And then the whole concept of four guys that play in the same league for four different teams, fraternizing together, And I don't know whether, maybe it wasn't this way, or maybe it was, I guess is the way to say it. Maybe it was this way back in the day with athletes, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, where they kicked it together in the offseason or whatever. But I don't remember that. And tell me if I'm wrong about that. Do you remember athletes kicking it together? Like, I remember athletes not liking each other. You see what I'm saying? And it kind of makes me think, how much can you compete against another guy if you're really, really cool? And I guess, you know what, I just thought about this. Maybe you could say that somebody that you're cool with, that you're friends with, you actually compete against them even harder. I don't know, but I don't know. It's something unsettling seeing guys that you see go in against each other week in and week out in the NBA in a sport be real cool. And the studio audience doesn't like it either. And maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm just old school and I'm a curmudgeon or something like that, and I just don't get the whole, thing. I don't remember, like Dr. J and Larry Bird getting together. I remember Dr. J choking the ish out of Larry Bird. I remember that. I don't remember, Ed Too Tall Jones, having dinner with Terry Bradshaw in the offseason. I don't remember that. I don't know. So what are your thoughts on that, man? I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over. It's all over social media, man. And maybe it's kind of like an indictment of today's sports and how sports. We're not really an indictment. I guess it's just a way to look at it that sports has kind of changed this day and time. You got to remember, a lot of these guys have the same agents. The money is so big in today's sports that why are you mad at anybody? I guess that's the way you can look at it as well. Back in the day, in the 70s or whatever, you've heard the stories about some of the pro athletes. They made so little money that they had to have jobs in the off season, and so I guess that would make you kind of surly. You know what I'm saying? And it's 2015, and they giving cats $15 million. Damari Carroll is getting like $15 million a year. Why are you mad at anybody? So maybe that's the way to look at it. I don't know. I just came to that conclusion just now. What are your thoughts on that, man? Just kind of like as a little side topic. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. When we get back from the break, man, I want to talk a little bit about this JPP story. And I'm sure you've heard about it. We briefly talked about it yesterday. Defensive end for the New York Giants, Jason Pierre-Paul. I think this ninja done blown his damn hand off. Yes, do you know that the police... Well, I'll save it. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Because something ain't adding up with this story. And if you're a Giants fan, are you worried? I think you need to be. All right, so we get back, we'll talk about Jason Pierre-Paul. If we got any chat, we'll get into that already. We already got a ton of chat. I see that, man. So thank you for the chat. We'll get into your chat all day long on the Doug Stewart Show. And a little bit later, once again, the great Special K. Not so much. If Ryan were here, him and Special K had a love-hate relationship. I don't know where it came from, but we're going to talk to Special K a little bit later on the Doug Stewart Show, all right? Don't go away. Sports talk, guy talk with hot sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right. I said billions with a B, okay? A B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobilized, optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their banner link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for more details. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Hit your boy up at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And also, you can jump in the chat room on Spreaker.com as well. Follow the Doug Stewart Show on Spreaker. This segment is brought to you by National Debt Relief. They're one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collections accounts. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and consolidation. So, give them a call at 844-828-4975. Once again, 844-828-4975. I was talking earlier about the Dwayne Wade and LeBron, Carmelo, and those guys, real power brokers in sports, not just basketball, but sports in general. And the picture with these dudes on this banana boat, there's Gabrielle Union on the front. She just hanging out. Like, Gabrielle Union she going to be in the mix. She going to be in the mix. I can see it right now. I'm going to Vegas. This is Dwayne Wade. Baby, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going too. Or I'm going to the Bahamas. I'm going too. Every time I see them, we used to see, this was, many, many years ago. And I say we used to see like it was a lot of times. A couple of times I've seen Dwayne Wade out twice on them streets. One time in Vegas. And I think maybe when the All-Star game was in Vegas, he was actually still married. And I'm not trying to throw shade or something like that, but Gabrielle Union was in the house that same night as well. Then I've seen him another time out somewhere else, and she with him. I mean, she ain't too far away, even though they live, I think she lives in L.A., and he lives, obviously, in Miami 90% of the year. She ain't trying to miss out on no fun and no action and no cameras. Hey, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. So I mentioned before we went to the break, man, this story about Jason Pierre-Paul. And if you're a Giants fan, you might need to worry a little bit. All right, two things, and I'm just going to break this down as far as opposed to getting to all of the details of the stories and how they're written out there. But the two issues that he had, if you didn't know, he actually had an accident this past weekend, allegedly blowing up fireworks, and somehow or another, dude's hand got blown up or whatever. And it kind of came off like it was a minor thing, but it's been about 4 days now that have passed. And the New York Giants are in Miami trying to check out the situation, the brass from the New York Giants, and they still haven't been able to see dude yet. Now, he's in a hospital. He's not like in Fort Knox or something like that. You would think that, hey, I mean, we're your employer. We're coming here to check on you. Not that there's anything nefarious wrong with it. We're coming to check on you. You know, we love you. I mean, you're one of our employees, this, that, and the other, even though he's got to sign a new deal. And that's another part of the story. But we're here just to check on our employee. We're here to check on a member of our family. They haven't been allowed to see dude yet. That's kind of scary. And the other little side part of this is there was some talk about him actually facing some type of criminal charges because in some parts of South Florida, some counties, fireworks, the real fireworks are illegal. Kind of like I talked about last week and how I'm from South Carolina and we've had the big boom, blow your ass up fireworks my entire life. In the state of Georgia, this year is the first year that they're allowing the big bang type fireworks. Even though I found out during 4th of July weekend that there's a 6-month moratorium on those types of new big fireworks that you will be able to get, but you won't be able to get those until 6 months down the road. Some places were selling some small quantities, but it's not full-blown, like I said, like in my home state of South Carolina. But they've basically come to a point where he's not going to be charged for anything in the particular county they were looking at in the first time, in Coral Springs, but they're still looking at another area. The big thing is this guy's hand. I mean, you would think that there's something serious going on, and I'm sure you've seen on Facebook, if you're a social media guy like myself. I mean, I spend way too much damn time on social media. And there's this picture floating around right now, and I think it's fake. But there's this picture floating around of this, this secret confidential photo of Jason Pierre-Paul's hand, and it's mangled. And I don't want to believe it, and I'm sure you've seen it, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm sure most of you, or a lot of you, have seen it. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that that's some type of internet hoax, somebody just trying to get hits to their website or whatever. But it's strange. There's something very strange with this. I mean, pray for the young man. I'm praying for the young man, and I hope everything's okay. But if you blow your hand if you blow up a firecracker in your hand, and trust me, I've done it before, and I talked about this last week as well. The way this thing usually happens, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, okay, as a kid that once again grew up with this stuff, I was setting off fireworks, firecrackers, and M80s and whatnot when I was 7, 8 years old. The way it usually happens is you light it, and I think this is what probably happened. You light it, and it doesn't go off, and you think it's a dud. And this only happens one time because it only takes one time for it to happen where you don't do it again. So you light the firecracker or the fireworks or whatever, and it doesn't go off. You think it's a dud. A lot of times it's duds, and they don't light or whatever, and so it's a dud, And you walk over to it, and this is the first time that you've done it, and this is probably the only time you do it. You pick it up, and then the damn thing goes off. Boom. I mean, that's usually how this thing happens. So if this is the case, man, and this dude actually picked up one of the higher potent fireworks, like once again an M80, a Blockbuster or something like that, and blew his damn hand off, that's a problem, because you would think that the only reason he's not allowing the Giants to come and see him because he's in bad shape. And these athletes, this is the off season, and they shouldn't be doing certain types of things. You don't want to get hurt, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, as an athlete doing something not related to your sport, because then there's problems, and then there's issues in your contract, and we can cut you, we can waive you or whatever. You aren't supposed to be doing that. There's verbiage in the contract that says you can't do this. So it makes you believe, and once again, this might be nothing, but it's kind of one of the top things that people are talking about in sports. It kind of makes you think that this thing is real. Now, I hope it's not real to the degree in the pictures that I saw online, because if that's the case, that's a huge problem. I mean, the pictures of the hand that I saw that was supposedly Jason Pierre-Paul's hand were mangled. Now, you can play football. Let's be honest about this. You can play football and be productive with half a hand. You can. How many times have you seen guys break their hand and they have that big cast on it, defensive linemen in particular, and they play games fine. They make sacks and they do everything. They aren't asked to catch footballs. They aren't a defensive back or a wide receiver. So I think ultimately he's going to play football again. But right now, I mean, this thing is kind of sketchy. What are your thoughts on this? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I know we got some Giants fans out there. Vern always calls up here about the crazy-ass Knicks. Maybe he's got some thoughts on this. Maybe he's got some inside sources that can kind of shed light on exactly what's going on with Jason Pierre-Paul, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I mean, it's not even close. He's one of those type dudes. He is a franchise-type player. And it's just very odd that he wouldn't let the organization meet with him. He wouldn't let the organization come and talk to him. It's very, very strange. I mean, that alone makes me think that this thing is more serious than you would initially believe. The fact that it seems like he's trying to hide from the New York Giants officials. The number is 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Make sure you follow your boy on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope. I did do a Periscope at the start of the show, before the show started, a pre-Periscope, a pre-show Periscope. I might cut it on here in a second or so and show you some behind the scenes of what's going on here in the studio at Stewart Media and Entertainment. Just kind of see your boy in action when I go live or whatever, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow me. All of my social networks are pretty much under at The Doug Stewart Show. If you just do at The Doug Stewart Show, you put in Doug Stewart in the search or whatever, you'll find me. We have a Facebook group page on Facebook, The Doug Stewart Show Facebook group page. And once again, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram as well. I'm all over the place. I post a lot of times. I have a good time with that. I almost think that I spend, and I said it earlier, too much damn time on social media, man. I mean, it's kind of addictive. It's kind of addictive. It's real good stuff. Obviously, you get great information as well. You get a lot of bootleg stuff. If you follow the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group, I posted a video of this dude, this big black dude with a bald head, walking around just deboing people. So go to the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group page, and you'll see the video I'm talking about. Brody. Dude name is Brody. In effect, he's a modern-day Debo from Friday. I don't know if it's real or if it's for fake. I don't know what it is, but it's very interesting, and I was thoroughly entertained in watching Brody go around and punk people. He going to get shot, though. Just go watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about on the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group page. All right, 404-382-0338. A little bit later on today's show, we're going to talk to the great Special K comedian extraordinaire, the unofficial comedian to the Two Live Stews. Tours with Ricky Smiley. He's a part of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. So he's doing it real big. Has been for the last couple of years. Real funny dude, man. Very intelligent dude as well. So we're going to talk to him, man, a little bit later on the Doug Stewart Show. All right. When we get back from the break, I want to talk to you a little bit about some basketball issues. DeAndre Jordan's in the news. In particular, J.J. Redick and what he had to say about his former teammate. The New Orleans Pelicans are in the news a little bit. In the Boston Celtics. We'll hit a little Boston Celtics talk. I've been watching this Summer League stuff, man, and I like it. I love basketball. I like to see when the young guys that just got drafted, I just like to see them on the floor. And I talked about Jahlil Okafor on yesterday and how good he looked in his first outing with the Philadelphia 76ers. So, I've been watching Summer League basketball, man. What about you? I really, in the summertime when your choices are baseball and women's World Cup soccer, I watch the hell out of some men NBA Summer Basketball League. Yes, sir. Don't go away, man. We get back from the break. We'll talk about some birthdays. Read some of your chat. Once again, a little bit of NBA talk as well. It's Sports Talk with Hot Sauce. Texas Pete Hot Sauce. The Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam.
Regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Regulators!
Mount up.
All right, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Shouts out to all of the Stewies in the chat room. We're going to get to some chat here in a second. We'll also talk some NBA. But first, we got to do some birthdays. I love doing birthdays, man. And I think we actually didn't do them on yesterday. We got caught up in all of the conversation about Bill Cosby and the kid DeAndre Johnson from Florida State. But we'll do some birthdays here in a second. In life, things happen good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place, man. Yeah, I know, studio audience, that's crazy. As far as insurance and that type of thing, man. So what I've done, man, is I've teamed up with the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top representatives, then call my guy Greg Wynn at 678-439-7172. Again, it's 678-439-7172, and let him come and discuss with you some of your options as far as life insurance and taking care of your family. Yes, sir. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, man, there's a couple of people out there that haven't received their Doug Stewart Show T-shirt. Trust me, we're not trying to duck you or evade you or anything like that. We thank you for your donations, and you can donate to the Doug Stewart Show. And if you donate $20 or more, we'll send you your very own Doug Stewart Show T-shirt. Go to thedougstewartshow.com. There's a little button. Click donate, and we thank you very much. Support independent radio. Support me. But a couple of people haven't gotten their T-shirts yet because they needed some of the bigger sizes. The first time we ordered, we didn't expect that we had that many defensive linemen that listen to the show. I'm just keeping it real. So, going forward, we're going to order accordingly. We got, and I guess I think that, I try to compare. I say that I'm average size. My brother and a lot of people will say that I'm a small dude. So I guess I was in that mind frame of thinking when we ordered these shirts. So we're trying to wait until we get rid of all of the first order. It's kind of like a bulk thing before we order the next order. So just, stay patient. Try to be patient or whatever. You got to remember, man, we're working on a very limited budget around here. Very limited. And so to buy a couple of shirts as opposed to buying them in bulk would be an issue. But we're going to take care of you. Trust me. I mean, we for real around here. All right? I mean, we're running a professional outfit with a very small budget, but a professional outfit nonetheless. All right, so be patient with us, please. You will get your T-shirt. Trust me on that. I'm going to have to order next time more double X's, a couple of triples, and allegedly a couple of 5X's.
Stop it.
Oh, good morning, Tree. You haven't said anything this morning. That voice you hear is Tree, the producer to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, I mean, we've heard a couple of people say, hey, man, I ain't got my shirt yet. Well, you ain't got your shirt yet because we didn't have enough material to make it.
Oh.
And
I just need to go back and be mute again.
They know I kid, but man, yeah, we got some defensive linemen and some sumo wrestlers that listen to the show.
Someone said they were going to take their money and go get a gym membership. You better chill with that.
Yeah. No, don't take that money and buy a gym membership. We like you big and sexy. All right? Take that money and buy 5 The Doug Stewart Show t-shirts. All right? Today, celebrating birthdays is the great Jack Lambert. He turned 63 years old today. Former Pittsburgh Steeler linebacker, 9-time Pro Bowler. Him, Jack Ham, Mean Joe Green, Donnie Shell, that great steel curtain defense of the 70s. So he's 63 years old today. Lance Gross, you know who that is, right? And brother that's on all of the Tyler Perry shows, House of Pain, Meet the Browns. He all over the place. Lance Gross, 34 years old today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to him. I actually was at an event one time with Lance Gross. Maybe there was a picture taken and somebody sent me the picture. A professional photographer took the picture. We were kind of like on this little red carpet type thing. Brother didn't have a lot of words. I mean, he's kind of high posting or whatever. I tried to make casual conversation and brother act like he was, at the Emmys or something like that. But anyway, maybe he just had a bad night. Jamal Woolard, you know who that is? Jamal Woolard, that's the dude that played Biggie in the Biggie movie. He turns 40 today. Now, wait a minute. So he turns 40 today. When did that Biggie Smalls movie come out? Maybe 6 or 7 years ago? So he was in his mid-30s when he did that movie? I thought for some reason he was like a teenager. I guess he looks just young at heart. But he turns 40 today. Happy birthday to him. He's actually from Brooklyn as well. So the casting on that movie was fantastic. And Jaden Smith, his crazy ass, is 17 years old today. Will and Jada's boy. He crazy as a loon. I think, and Tree, jump on here for a second, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. What do you think about him and his little sister's persona? I mean, you're real artsy. You might think it's cool. You might think it's cute that they do so many weird things.
I like some of his statements, especially about education and how it's a big old hoodwink. I mean, I don't know if you know what he said, and I'll have to get the specific quote, but he talked about how babies are smarter than adults, and we don't need to be, we're all programmed.
Right,
he's real big on programming, and I support that, and I find that I like that he's young and he knows what he wants. And no, I don't want my son wearing a dress.
Yeah, I mean,
but he is confident. And at 42 years old, it took me a long time to be confident in my skin.
No,
so I appreciate that.
Oh, you saying you? Okay, got you.
Yeah, I'm saying he's 17 and he really gets it.
Yeah, he's definitely got the whole individuality thing locked up. But I don't know. And I guess, once again, this is another situation. I'm just old school. I'm from the country. Brought up in a very, I guess you would call it, conservative manner. And Will and Jada just let them churn just go, wow. And my grandmother was like, she just let them churn go, wow. We'd be at the grocery store or whatever, and the little kids be running all crazy, loud talking their mama and them. And my grandmother would absolutely just lose her damn mind. She could not understand that.
My kid, and I think I had me and Ryan had a text conversation about that. Like that whole letting your kids touch stuff in the store. And
right.
I think it's okay. And people have seen me with my kids on Periscope, and Cameron pushes the line quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes too much, but there's something to be said about that too. So I don't want them running around the store. We always gotta don't do this and don't do that, and we so scary. We are so African. A lot of black folks, we scary because we get hindered as a child, and so again, you do have to have boundaries. You do have to have balance. But there is something to be said about
knowing what you want now, and that's going to save you later on.
My mother and grandmother, I guess you could deem them scary too. They weren't scared to whip that ass in TJ Maxx. Oh my gosh, my mother. Some of my worst memories as a child. My mother used to be like a TJ Maxx junkie. She would literally take me and my brother in there and tell us to trail her. She don't want to turn around and not see us. And she'd literally be in TJ Maxx for an hour and a half. And, you know, we were kids. I'm talking about we were 8, 9, 10 years old. We were kids, man, and obviously we used to get into trouble. I mean, we were held under a real tight rein as kids. Not to the point where we rebelled or when we got our ability and our freedom to do things on our own, that we acted crazy, because I do think that's what happens with a lot of people because they're so held down as a kid. When they get the opportunity, they just wild out. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. But, man, I mean, our parents didn't play no mess like that. I mean, Will and Jada, they damn near, they emancipated. I mean, they do what the hell they want. The kids that...
But look, and see, I guess that's why I have because I was on my own at 16, so the things that everybody else wanted to do and I could do, I didn't find them to be exciting. So doesn't that say that work? That kind of works?
Maybe to a degree. I don't know.
I wasn't wilding out. I was...
But answer this simple question, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Are Will and Jada's kids, Jaden, and what's the girl's name?
Willow.
Willow, yeah. Are Jaden and Willow weird? Simple question. Are they weird?
Can we say different?
I guess you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
they
are.
Yeah, they are definitely different. Most people would categorize them as weird, and it's all because of the way that Will and Jada give them these liberties. I mean, and they're not like kids. They're not like most kids, and they don't have the restraints on them that most kids have in America. So there you go, man. Happy birthday to all of those people, even to Jaden's crazy ass. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Damn it. All right, we're up against a break right now. When we get back from the break, I promise you we're going to talk about this basketball stuff, and I'll start reading some of your chat, man. All right? Yeah, don't forget a little bit later, as a matter of fact, in about 20 minutes, the great Special K, comedian extraordinaire, is going to join me. And, man, you know what? I didn't sing yesterday, but today I'm feeling kind of good, man. Feeling good, feeling great. How about you? I think I might sing something for y'all today, man, so you don't want to miss that. I mean, surely you don't want to miss that. And today, I think I might sing one of my favorite songs of all times. No, not Dove's Cry. I think I already did that. Not Can You Stand the Rain. I think I've already done that. But another song that I absolutely love, man, is On My Heart. And this is for the ladies. So stay tuned, and maybe I might do that for you a little bit later, all right? Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! I don't like Johnny Gill. He took my spot on New Edition. One of my favorite songs of all time from New Edition is Can You Stand the Rain? So to pay ode to that famous song, man, I'm going to give you my little rendition of Can You Stand the Rain? On a perfect day, I know that I can count on you. Ooh. When that's not possible, tell me, can you weather the storm? Then Ralph jumps in. 'Cause I need somebody who will stand. Shut up! Who will stand by me through the good times and bad times. She will always be right there. Hey, sunny days. Everybody has them. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? J-Rob, Tree, if you stop Doug singing, we will renege your BPA nomination. Huh? Buster, Doug, I see why you got kicked out of New Edition. Wait a minute. Back up, Jack. Shut up. Studio audience, y'all are out of control today. I mean, seriously, we're going to talk about this. We're going to have to take y'all into Larry's office after this show. That ninja, you just cracked my damn phone screen. What? Where's all of this coming from? Who's putting y'all up to say these things? Who's putting y'all... Okay, Tree, jump on for a second. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Did you prompt these people to say these nasty things to me on Spreaker.com?
You know what?
I mean, it's jealousy. Tree, we know that you sing. But you don't have to be the only person that can sing, okay? I can see it. What do the kids call it? Hating? Is that what's going on here, Tree? Are you hating on Doug Stewart? Dirty Della.
Oh, my God.
Dirty Della. Oh. Dirty Della. Oh. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Like Jaden Smith gonna wild out today. You better believe that. Thank you for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show, man. I really do appreciate it. Shouts out to all of the Stewies in the chat room. I'm going to read some of your chat here in a second. This segment is brought to you by Ticket Liquidator, though. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers to give you the opportunity to attend the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. The goal is to bring you more tickets, better service, and lower prices so that you can be there to witness the best of the world of entertainment, culture, and sports and what they have to offer. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, give them a call at 855-638-3034. Once again, 855-638-3034, and make sure and tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. All right, so J.J. Redick did an interview on yesterday, and he was asked what does he think about the Clippers offseason free agency deal, and he said he would give this team an F. Now, he probably shouldn't have said it, but his whole point was that the only free agent thing that we had to shore up was re-signing DeAndre Jordan, and they didn't do that, so he rates them an F. I don't know if that was a smart thing to do, to, I guess, sideways criticize your employer, but he did it, and it's true. I mean, it is true. Even though I'm not a fan of DeAndre Jordan, and I don't understand why he's so coveted. I understand he's a fantastic player, fantastic athlete, but DeAndre Jordan couldn't hit the backside of a barn. But I guess he was a force in the middle, and it kind of opened up things for the shooters on their team, him and Chris Paul. So he made that point yesterday in an interview. And every time I talk about J.J. Redick, I'm always marveled at the fact that he's still in the NBA. That's somebody else I got totally wrong. I didn't think he would be in the NBA no more than a year or two. He would be off playing overseas or something like that. But he has stuck to the NBA. Also, Alvin Gentry says that when he gets to New Orleans with the Pelicans, he's going to emphasize to Anthony Davis taking more three-pointers. Huh? I don't know about that. I mean, why you want to fix something that's not broken? But evidently he comes from all of these styles. You know, he used to coach in Phoenix. He's obviously been with the Golden State Warriors as they won a championship this year. So he's influenced by fast-paced, up-and-down offenses and guys that have the ability to shoot threes. You remember the Fry kid used to play for Phoenix, and he used to drop back behind the three and Channing Frye and shoot those three-pointers. And obviously the bigs for Golden State and Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green and those guys, they can shoot threes as well. And remember, Anthony Davis was a guard, and he grew like 8-9 inches in a year and a half or something crazy like that. So he says he can do it. He just hadn't put any emphasis on it in the last couple of years. But he can do it, so I don't know about that. And we'll see. We'll see. Once again, Alvin Gentry gets that job down there, a coveted job, because you get to coach, probably one of the best young players in basketball, or definitely one of those, but maybe the best player in basketball in a couple of years. So that's an interesting little news and note out of the world of the NBA. And also, man, David Lee has been traded to the Boston Celtics for Gerald Wallace. Solid player. And I guess he just didn't fit scheme-wise to what they do in Golden State, and he asked to be traded. And they obliged him, and now he's going to Boston, and you can look for him to be a big factor next year for the Boston Celtics. I mean, fantastic player. I don't know how he got in the doghouse. He had an injury earlier this year and never really was able to supplant Draymond Green, who obviously had a fantastic year. But David Lee can still play in this league. You better believe that. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. From That Ninja, he says, Doug is criticizing vacation choices. I'm sure this isn't the first time rich ninjas have ended up in the same place. Basketball has issues because it is rigged, not because of players off the court relationships. Okay, well, you differ in opinion. I'm not criticizing, really, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo, Chris Paul, and Carmelo going on vacation together. I'm just saying it's kind of odd. It's just kind of different, something that I'm not used to seeing. Once again, I'm old school, and I don't remember the top athletes in sports. And once again, it's probably because we didn't have access to these cats the way we do now. Everybody's got a camera phone, all the social medias or whatever. So we see it. Maybe it went on back in the day, but I just don't remember it. From Rail Scott, I'm sure the athletes back in the day hung out with each other. There was no TMZ to track their every move. That's a very good point. I just kind of talked about that too. Besides, if I was LeBron, why wouldn't I want to hang out with Lala and her tatas? Yeah, see, there you go. And Gabrielle Union. From Dobby, or Dobie, he says, damn, Doug, ninjas can't vacation with their boys? I guess at the end of the day, they can. I mean, I do it all the time. I go on golf trips or whatever. From Andre Elam, he got the DUI in Arizona the other day, his second DUI. I guess he's talking about Donovan McNabb. Oh, here's a message from Miss Mocha Bella. Shouts out to you, Mocha Bella. She says McNabb got busted for DUI. That's not a good look. McNabb's second one, from what I understand, from Rel Scott. McNabb needs a job. Too much Jesus juice in his system. Second DUI. Hashtag second DUI. There's a hashtag second DUI, or did you just make that up, brother? From Sluggo. Today's folks can't move without a camera placed in their face. I guess he's talking about the whole NBA players vacationing together. Boosa, damn, Doug, you think he blew his hand off? Maybe a couple of fingers. In the Jason Pierre-Paul story, I don't think he actually blew his hand off. The picture that I talked about that I saw online, once again, it's probably a hoax. I'm thinking it's a fake. His fingers were mangled. Like you almost couldn't tell they were fingers. It was like they melted off or whatever. Like they were a wax candle and they melted off. It was a horrible, nasty looking picture. I hope that's not the case, man. From Grego, I think he's having hand surgery. Laugh out loud. They won't let the Giants brass in to see him. And talking about Jason Pierre-Paul, Brian Hill, only liquor and beer with the homies. Yeah, I also mentioned the pictures that have come out with these guys down in the Bahamas vacationing, and you know they all toasting wine. Like how many brothers that age all drinking wine like that? Like I won't drink wine. I don't like wine. I'm just gonna be here. Maybe it's the brute in me. It's the countryness in me. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't like wine. I'll drink it if somebody has it and that's all they have, and we're at dinner or something like that. I don't really like the taste of wine. But I haven't seen too many dudes at that age go out and exclusively order wine. I see dudes get like screwdrivers, vodka and cranberry or whatever. Maybe that's about the most you see. That's what I drink nowadays. Brown liquor. You know, let's toast. Let's toast us having all this money and all this fame and all of this women. That's what we toasted to. And we all hold up a cup and it's got brown liquor in it. or straight vodka or something like that. But wine, it just seemed kind of non-manish. From Juan Cruz, he says, I don't have a problem with the wine, but them hanging out together, I do. I feel some type of way about them just hanging out. From 9-0 the Rhino, these young Thundercats are more secure. I'm starting to see dudes order Long Island iced teas at the bar. What?
What do you mean, what? You said it like it's some kind of...
What? And I've said this before. When I go to, like, the Bahamas or one of those island trips and I'm with the wife, and it's just me and the wife, I'll order one of those, like, Bahama Mamas or something like that. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not going to toast a Bahama Mama or some type of fruity drink, and I don't drink that type of stuff here in the States, okay, or here in North America, the continental United States. But that's a man law violation. Listen, we had a man law show a long time ago, probably 5-6 months ago. Trust me, if you're a youngin' and you out at a bar, okay, with your boys, do not order a Long Island iced tea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it, man. It's just not a good look. And I know we're more liberal today and, you know, dudes can marry dudes and all of that. I'm just telling you. Don't do it. That's a definite man law violation. These cats are more secure in their skin. Okay. I always talk about it, man. The sissification of America. And Dwayne Wade and LeBron and them toasting wine. Like there's some type of wine tasting or whatever. I don't know. I feel some type of way about that. All right, when we get back from the break, I mean, I might come back and I might sing a little something for you. Stay tuned. And we're going to read more of your chat. And we got to talk about Russell Wilson and Ciara.
Yay.
And the Newtsy. Or lack thereof.
Lack of riding raw.
All right, so we'll talk about that up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! This is your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the Two Live Stews. Check out my brand new daily show and podcast that airs live Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Spreaker.com. That's the Doug Stewart Show daily at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Spreaker.com. Or check out the podcast anytime, 24/7. If you're not stewing, what in the world are you doing?
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your number one advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Hour number 2. Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Thank you for joining me for the first hour. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk to my folk, the comedian extraordinaire, Special K. Stay tuned for that. We got to talk about this Russell Wilson Ciara thing here too in a second. And I kind of want to hold off on that conversation. But so stay tuned for that because we got to talk about Russell Wilson. I mean, bless his heart, Russell Wilson. But he needs to understand something. This is all I'm going to say, and we'll get into it here in a second. He needs to understand something. Ciara is a wild tiger. And
stop it. Don't do it.
Okay,
Let's just wait.
I'm going to hold off. We're going to hold off in that conversation, but I'm sure you've seen the story about Russell Wilson and some of the comments that he's made in talking about his relationship with Ciara and how God, quite frankly, speaks to him all of the time. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@the DougStewart Show. Before I jump back into the chat, quickly, I've been meaning to talk about this for the last couple of days. News has come out that the WBO stripped pound-for-pound King Floyd Mayweather of his welterweight title, world title, on Monday for his failure to comply with organization rules. This story is very strange to me, or I can't really understand it. Mayweather claimed the WBO welterweight title when he outpointed Manny Pacquiao on May 2nd in the 147-pound classification that shattered all financial records for boxing match, including total gross pay, per-views, subscriptions, closed-circuit revenue, live gate, all of that. He owns the other two belts as well, which are the WBA and the WBC maybe. So So he was supposed to pay a $200,000 sanctioning fee from the fight on May 2nd, and Mayweather didn't pay it. So really, ultimately, you know what this kind of reminds me of, and the Greeks that listen to the show can kind of relate to this. It's almost like when you're in the frat and when you're in a fraternity and you get kicked out of the fraternity, which I've known people that get kicked out of the fraternity because they did something unbecoming of a fraternity member, quote unquote, like they got caught hazing somebody or whatever. And so the fraternity will say, well, we're kicking you out of the fraternity. And it doesn't really change anything. You just aren't on the books at the headquarters. I mean, you pledge. Everybody knows you pledge, and they saw you wearing your shirt. You can continue to wear shirts. I think they say that you technically shouldn't wear paraphernalia after you've been kicked out. But, I mean, what? Who's watching you do that? So, I mean, it's only in paperwork, I guess, because everybody knows Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the champ in any damn belt you're talking about. Everybody saw Floyd Mayweather Jr. kick the crap out of Manny Pacquiao. So really, what does it mean? At the end of the day, he's going to make, or they said that he's made over $230 million in this fight. They're not going to take the money back. So what? I mean, who cares? Who gives a rat's ass? Floyd didn't care. And I guess Floyd, to be technical, could have went ahead and paid this $200,000 sanctioning fee. But Floyd's like, F you, I don't care. Take the stinking belt back. I don't care. Take it. Like Floyd's so money strong, you know, and such a boss that he says, you know what? Y'all just take the belt. I'm fine. I'll keep the $200,000 and I'll treat my family to a weekend in Disney World or something like that. So, I mean, it's a story, but it's not really a story. You remember after the fight, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, you remember after the fight, he was saying that he was going to turn over certain belts to give other younger boxers an opportunity to hold a belt. I don't think he actually followed through with that. I don't understand the dynamics of that conversation as well. But at the end of the day, man, this story is really, it means absolutely nothing. I mean, what? Did he not beat the living dog doo-doo out of Manny Pacquiao? Did he not convincingly win that fight? Has he not lost a fight his entire career? So there's no question about who's the champion, whether you got a belt or not. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Quickly, I wanted to talk about this as well before we jump back into the chat. Have you heard the story about the guy Jared? What's his name? Jared Fogle. You know who Jared Fogle is? Jared Fogle is the Subway guy, the dude that claimed to lose, I think it was 200 pounds by just eating Subway sandwiches every day. Investigators raided the Indiana home of longtime Subway pitchman Jared Fogle on Tuesday. This happened yesterday. Seizing electronics in a search that the sandwich chain says might be linked to the early arrest of someone who once worked for him in child pornography. What? Agents took computers from Fogle's home in Zionville, just north of Indianapolis, after arriving at about 6 a.m. Fogle and his attorney, Ron Elberger, said without disclosing what they were looking for. Now, the police has said, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, the police haven't said anything. They haven't said exactly how this ties to a former employee for Jared that was arrested for possessing child pornography. But this particular person ran his foundation. That's how it kind of ties in with him. But the person that was arrested a while back had this child pornography, and he actually was the president of Jared's foundation. And the foundation had something to do with kids as well. And so it kicked in his doors at 6 in the morning and took all his computers and stuff. That's not a good look. So Subway and Jared Fogle have mutually agreed to suspend their relationship until the current investigation is over. Once again, here's more of the details. Tuesday's raid comes more than 2 months after the executive director of Jared's foundation Fogel's organization that aspires to combat childhood obesity was arrested in Indianapolis on federal child pornography charges. I mean, there's nothing more lower than drugging chicks and taking the nudity is very low, but something that comes even lower than that is child pornography. I mean, if you're looking at, if you're getting off on child pornography, I ask that you don't listen to this show anymore. I mean, I don't want nothing to do with you. I can't suspend you like Subway suspending, their relationship with Jarrett. But just, take your business elsewhere if you get off and looking at children do sexual things. I mean, that's unbelievable. This is the Doug Stewart Show, 4-4. And once again, let me make sure I clarify. He is not being charged with anything yet. They're kind of insinuating that, this might just be innocent and maybe they're trying to get some documents in connection with the guy that got arrested a couple months earlier. So it's very vague. They aren't saying that he actually is taking part in child pornography, but it just doesn't look good. So I'll keep you up to date on that story once we get more information. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show from Stagger Lee. He says, did I come in too late to give Tree a BPA? Why are you giving Tree a BPA? From JB Jennings, Doug, I just knew you was going to clown Dirty Della yesterday since his 20 minutes of fame is up now, that the Cavs have signed Mo Williams, a capable backup point guard to Kyrie. You know what? I didn't even get into that conversation yesterday because I also read that they're trying to find a way to sign Matthew Dellavedova to the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's probably not going to happen. You know why? Because he can't play. He can't play at that level. Put it like that. And, yeah, his 15 minutes of fame looks like it's over. And once again, I'm not hating on anybody, but I got to keep it real. And all of the love affair about this guy for a dirty player. And that's the problem. It'd be one thing if he was a guy that hustled and did all the right things and found a way to stick in the NBA. But then you sprinkle in undercutting your fellow players in the NBA and then people trying to ignore it and try to attribute it to him being, this tough, hard-nosed, Australian rules-type football player. I don't like that. Punk-ass, dirty Dellavedova. From Eugene Jackson. Wow, the guy from Subway is facing a charge. Subway suspended him as their spokesperson until he clears his name. I just talked about that. Let's see what else we got here before we jump to break. Chico the Alpha, BPA to Jared from Subway. I agree, he won't beat Bill. I don't know what that means exactly, but yeah, we just talked about that just now. I guess I'm just getting to that.
Bill Cosby.
Oh, Bill Cosby.
As a nominee.
Oh, hell yeah. But you know what? This thing is still kind of open. It's still kind of open about Jared. Once again, I don't like to convict anybody when you don't have all of the details and you're innocent until proven guilty. Or until you get enough information on you like they have on Bill Cosby where I'll say, yeah, I think he did it. So I don't know. We'll talk about giving Jared a BPA nomination. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we're going to talk to the comedian extraordinaire Special K on the Doug Stewart Show. Catch up with him, find out what he's got going on. Once again, I'm kind of going to try to do this type of thing more often when we talk to interesting people in the world of sports and entertainment. And kind of, do a little bio interview with them, all right? So don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. And oh yeah, I really feel like I'm going to sing at some point today. I really feel it. Stay tuned. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes!
The best of the Doug Stewart Show.
I'd been talking about red rice and frogmore stew. Another one on the list, on number 13 on this list, is peanuts taste better boiled. Yes. And as God is my witness, my wife did not know people boiled peanuts and ate them. She did not. My wife's from Ohio. And yes, boiled peanuts, if cooked right, are the bomb.
Sports talk. Straight, no chaser.
All right, so I got to clear something up. and I don't even know why anybody's mind would even work like this, but evidently it's becoming a topic of conversation. In the last segment, I was talking about boiled peanuts, okay, that come from out of the ground, not boiled peanuts. And so, evidently there's some talk in the chat room about Doug talking about boiled man parts. No, peanuts. I'm trying to say it as slow as I can. Peanuts, okay? What is it, P-E-A-N-U-T-S? Peanuts. No, man, not boiled peanuts. Come on, man. And I see Vern in here. Damn you, Vern. Ugh. Y'all know what the hell I was saying. This is the Doug Stewart Show. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. The realest, trillest, most unfiltered sports talk show in America. Thank you for joining your boy on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. But as I talked about a little bit earlier, man, joining me right now on the Doug Stewart Show line is my man Special K, comedian extraordinaire. What up, K?
What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm
brother
good.
From another mother, what's happening, man?
I'm good. Special K, the unofficial comedian to the Two Live Stews, joins me right now on the Doug Stewart Show. I ain't talked to you in a while, man. How you been doing?
I know, man. It's been a long time, man.
It's been a long
It's
ass
been a
time.
long time, my brother, but I see you doing big things, man. So, I'm glad that you reached out, and I'm glad to be here. So, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about you, man. For people that don't know, Special K is one of the, I guess you'd call yourself a contributor to the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, or what's your job title?
My official title is head writer, associate producer, and one of the talents on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
How long you been
syndicated?
How long you been with Ricky, man?
I've been on the show since February of 2007, I think.
Damn,
so
that show's been around that long? Ricky Smiley's been on radio that long?
Yeah, he's been on for 10 years now, and I came in, I think, maybe right at 2 years in.
We're talking to Special K right now, comedian extraordinaire, once again, the unofficial comedian to the Two Live Stews back in the day. Before he was actually on Ricky Smiley, he used to periodically come on our show. K, how busy are you guys, man? I always hear the show. Obviously, I love the show. I love Ricky and his comedy. But do you guys tour weekly, or how does that work?
Yeah, we tour. We got a Ricky Smiley and Friends comedy tour, and that consists of Ricky, myself, and two other comedians. And we travel, all over the country doing that show, and we alternate the other two comedians, but I'm the only constant. Well, me and him, of course. And basically, it's a show that Ricky hosts. He comes out, he opens it up, I close it, and and we've been doing that for probably 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now.
Kay, how long you been doing this comedian thing, man? I mean, like, when did you start? When did you actually officially call yourself a comedian and you were going to try to make this your career?
I mean, I officially started back in 1997. I used to call into a radio. When you guys were on the radio, I would call into your show and just, try to be funny and say crazy stuff. And I was doing that on another show in Atlanta, actually. And I would call in, and they invited me to come in because they thought I was really funny. They invited me to come in and do some stuff in the studio. And they asked me if I was a comedian. I said, yeah, even though I wasn't at the time. And they actually booked me to do a show, to do a station event for them. So, and they paid me like $1,500. So I said, I'm going to fake my way through this and act like I'm a comedian. I just said the funniest stuff I could think of. And it worked, because it was a white station. So, they're easy to fool. But that's where it kind of started at. And then I started going to Uptown Comedy Corner. And under the tutelage of Bruce and Earthquake, people like that, and I started doing the stand up thing. It didn't get serious though until like probably 2001, 2002, somewhere around in there.
Right.
That's when I really felt like I could really kind of do this.
Okay, so I want to get a little bit more information about this, and I've kind of heard. Kind of like the urban legend of how you started. You used to call another radio show. You can talk about the radio show. What was the radio show? What did you call it? What were you saying when you called this particular radio show back in 1997?
Yeah, it was on the Kim Peterson show. He was on WGST 640's AM show, like a real lily white conservative radio show.
I know the Kimmer. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the Kimmer. Everybody in Atlanta knows the Kimmer. But he's very, very funny dude and had a very funny show. And I used to call in. And I call myself Fresh from the hood because, Fresh came from my name, because, my real name is Douglas. So it was like Dougie Fresh. So right. I kind of stole that and bit off of it, and I was calling from the hood, and I felt like I was the only black person listening to his show. So I figured it would stick, and it worked.
Right.
And I did the whole Fresh from the hood thing, man, for about 3 years.
Wow.
And that's kind of how... And it just kind of, morphed into other things. But I hooked up with Ricky because we were on the road together on a couple of shows, and he really liked my style and said, hey, why don't you come down to Dallas and sit in on my radio show and just do, whatever you want to do, whatever you think is funny, just come on down there and do it. Because he was still looking to try to, make a name for himself in radio. And so, he was getting all the hired guns he could get. So I went in to visit for a week. And that week turned into 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks turned into 8 years. So here we are.
Talking to comedian Special K on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. You just talked about you called yourself Fresh from the Hood. You actually are from the hood. You from Decatur. What high school did you go to, man? And did you go to college?
Columbia High School, man. I always say I'm the third most famous graduate of Columbia High School.
Who's before you?
You got Olympic champion Gwen Torrance, who's one of my best friends. You got comedian Chris Tucker, who I think people have heard of probably. And then you got me. I'm the third most famous. Now, I might be the fourth most famous because technically, like B.O.B. went to Columbia too. But
yeah.
I don't know if he graduated from Columbia. I know he went to Columbia. So I'm the third or the fourth most famous graduate of Columbia High School. That's my claim to fame.
I had no clue that you went to the same high school as Chris Tucker. I mean, did you know him back in high school?
All the Tuckers, yeah. Well, I'm older than him, so I was in the class with his sister and one of his brothers. Because Chris is the baby of the family, so all the other Tuckers came through when I was going there, and then Chris kind of brought up the rear.
Yeah, talking to comedian Special K on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Dexter Tucker as well, who is now comedian, real cool dude. At some point, probably have him on the show as well.
Exactly. Good friend of mine. Yeah.
Tell me and the listeners, man, about this comedy business, man. I can only imagine going from city to city. Some of the crazy things you've seen, man. Like if you were telling somebody that was thinking about getting into comedy about the industry, what would you say to them?
Well, and it's interesting you would bring that up because I'm actually in the process right now of developing a television show called Inside the Green Room. And it's a show that I just left New York week before last, meeting with a producer up there who's very interested in doing the show. And I also got a meeting this weekend with another producer about the show. And it's where I go around the country, city to city, and hit all the comedy spots in that city and give people a look inside the world of comedians, inside the green room. You've been to comedy clubs and you hung out with comics, so in the green room that's kind of like our firehouse. That's where we congregate. That's where we prepare for the show. That's where we fight. That's where we argue. That's where we drink. That's where we do whatever we do. And in the green room is where you learn about what really comedians are all about. And what I want to do is give you a fly-on-the-wall perspective of what it's like to be a comic. And your question was for anybody that's coming into comedy. And I kind of have a problem with the way that people come into the game now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about this with other comics who are veterans, and I consider myself a veteran. I've been doing this 17 years now. So the way people come into the game now is like the entertainment landscape has changed. Social media is king right now. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Social media is where it's at. Everything is digital. Everything is, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, all that, Vine, everything. I feel like a lot of people are coming into the game now and looking at it as a source of revenue as opposed to having a real passion for it.
Right.
And it's almost like, and I feel like I'm dating myself when I say this, but like us old school dudes, we kind of came up through the ranks. When I went to Uptown Comedy Corner every week on open mic night, and I had to take my lumps, I had to pay my dues, I had to go through trying to make it through 5 minutes without getting booed off the stage, having to step aside and let veteran comics come in, when I thought I was going to have a spot on that stage that night, and then somebody bigger than me come in and they bump me off the show, and, having to do feature spots for people for no money, featuring for big headliners for no money or very little money until you got good, we didn't have the benefit of doing 3 or 4 funny vines and getting a whole bunch of people to follow us, and now we call ourselves a comedian because we can be funny for 15 seconds.
Right.
That's not comedy to me. And Mike Epps got in some hot water last year when he did an interview, and he was talking about this whole dynamic too, and people thought that he was saying that Kevin Hart, is only where he's at because of social media, and that's not what Mike was saying. And when you really watch the interview and listen to it, you realize what he was saying was that the landscape has changed so much that people do take shortcuts,
Right.
And I'm not talking about Kevin. I'm talking about you got other people out here who have really big followings and who call themselves comedians, but who haven't put in the work.
Right.
Kevin Hart put in the work. People know, a lot of the younger people know him through social media, but Kevin put in the work, Kevin was unknown for 15 years before anybody knew who he was.
Right.
He was ripping up stages in comedy clubs for 15 years before anybody knew that he was, who he was just this little short, dark-skinned dude doing comedy.
Right.
Social media helped propel him to a whole new level because it gave people awareness of who he was. But you got other people coming to the game in the last 3 or 4 years that have not paid those dues, that don't want to pay those. And you got people coming to the game now because they see it as, hey, this is a way I can make some money. This is a way I can meet some chicks. This is a way that I can become famous.
Right.
It's almost like reality TV stars don't get the same respect from real actors because it's like just because you're on a reality show, it doesn't mean you're a true
thespian
television talent.
Right.
You're just known. You're not famous. You're known. Denzel Washington is famous. Nene Leakes is known. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't taking a shot at Nene Leakes, but Evelyn Lozada is known. Angela Bassett is famous.
Right, exactly. Right. We're talking to comedian Special K on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Once again, would you say 17 years? You're talking about nightclubs, lounges, late at night.
Nightclubs, lounges, bowling alleys.
Right. A lot.
Churches.
Yeah, alcohol involved.
Everywhere, dude.
Yeah, alcohol.
I did comedy in the waiting area of, you remember Mix Restaurant?
Yeah, I remember Mix.
Remember Mix?
Yeah,
used
to have a bunch of gay dudes as the waiters.
There in the lobby. You know, when people sit and wait for their thing to buzz to let them know your table is ready.
Right.
We did a comedy show right there one night.
Right.
I did a comedy show in the girl's living room one time.
Right.
Real talk.
Right. So,
in her living room.
So the question I was going to ask you is, you've seen a lot of things. Obviously, I can only imagine you probably performed at, hundreds and hundreds of different nightclubs, bars, or whatever over the years. It's at night. Is alcohol involved? You probably see some crazy things. What's the craziest thing that you've ever seen on the road in the comedy business?
Well, the craziest thing I saw was actually Uptown Comedy Corner, the original Uptown Comedy Corner, the one that was in Buckhead before the one downtown. And I saw a guy attack a comedian on stage.
What?
I actually saw a guy. Yeah, the dude was heckling, and the comedian started talking back at the guys, talking about the guy's girl, and calling her, do we have language barriers on here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
He was calling the dude's girl a female dog.
Right, got you.
And talking about how ugly she was, this and that. One thing led to another, man. Dude just threw he threw his drink from the table onto the comedian on the stage. The comedian throws down the mic. The dude jumps up from the table and launches himself at the dude on the stage, and they take it on out the door. I mean, that was kind of the craziest thing I've seen.
Wow.
When Chris Tucker had his comedy club down in Midtown Atlanta, he had his comedy club for about a year or so, maybe a year, 2 years. And I was hosting there one night, and one of the headliner actually had a stroke on stage.
What? Damn.
Yeah, she actually passed out, had a full stroke in the middle of a routine, and I had to finish out the show. But, so after the paramedics came and got her and stuff, I still had to finish out the show, so we still had to, make jokes. We got to make jokes out of everything. That's the thing about comedy. In comedy,
yeah, so y'all made a joke out of a stroke?
On stage, you got to make a joke about it.
Wow. We're talking to Special K, finishing up with comedian Special K on the Doug Stewart Show on Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So that little story you told about the guy attacking the comedian, and comedians, they joan on people in the crowd, hecklers or whatever. Have you ever gotten on a guy to a point where you thought that you might have to see this guy in the streets or after the show?
No, well, you know what? Here's my thing on heckling, and I was just with my man Bruce, the other day, and we were talking about this. He taught me a valuable lesson early in the game, and Bruce is one of the best at taking care of hecklers. Bruce will destroy you from the stage if you're a heckler.
Right.
But he does it in a way that makes you laugh along with it. And the thing he pointed out to me was, he said, whenever you're dealing with a heckler, whenever you're dealing with somebody that wants you to come at them, he said, you always destroy them in a way that is not personal.
Right.
Don't talk about something that they can't do nothing about. If they girl is cross-eyed, talk about everything other than the fact that she cross-eyed. Talk about his sweater. Talk about his hair. Talk about, he said, you just never make it really personal, and you never make it really ugly. He said, because when you make it ugly, you make it personal, that's when you're risking getting dealt with after the show or even during the show. And that's a lesson I've taken with me since then, I don't really have a problem with hecklers, because if you really, and Don Curry taught me this, he said if you're really funny and you really got something to say, then the people who would heckle somebody that's not really funny, that don't have anything to say, they're going to be too busy listening to you. They're going to be paying attention to what you're saying, and they're not going to heckle you. So I haven't really had that problem. I can count on one hand the amount of hecklers I've dealt with in all that time. So, I'm kind of lucky and fortunate in that sense.
Finishing up with comedian Special K on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Speaking of media and entertainment, man, follow me on all my social media, man. Special K913 on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Special K913. That's how you can follow me. I'm pretty active on all my networks. I also just got on Periscope, so you can follow me on Periscope. And look forward to that Inside the Green Room, man, because it's going to happen. I got some changes coming here real soon, and I'm looking to branch out into television, man. I'm too pretty to be on the radio.
Got you. Couple more things before we let you go, man. Well, first of all, what's 913 got to do with your moniker?
Actually, that's my birthday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
September
nothing
13th.
fancy, nothing crazy. It's just my birthday. People say, "You from Kansas City?" No, I ain't from Kansas City, man. It's just my birthday. I'm lazy. I couldn't come up with nothing else. So I said, "Look, I use my birthday."
Right.
913, special K 913. It has no other significance other than that.
Give me your favorite comedian of all times, or some of your influences, maybe consciously or subconsciously. You think that kind of influences your comedy?
Oh, without a doubt, George Carlin, number one.
Ooh, okay.
George Carlin, number one. Chris Rock, probably number two.
See, and I kind of see that. Let me jump in here for a second. I kind of see that because for people that have never heard you, you kind of get into politics. You get on some serious issues. I mean, obviously you're a pretty smart brother, and y'all kind of tackle some of the issues that we talk about in the news. So I kind of see that comparison. Yeah, social commentary is a big part of my show. Relationships, just talking, because I've been married for a long time, got a bunch of kids, so relationships. My real life is a lot of is pretty much all of my show. I don't really do jokes. I do bits. I do, just commentary on things that are real to me, rather than just trying to make up stuff to sound funny. But yeah, Chris Rock, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, a big influence. Eddie Murphy. Just his style, his swag, Right. I don't think anybody has ever hit a stage with as much swag as Eddie Murphy in Delirious and Raw. When you look at those, I think those are possibly two of the greatest stand-up performances of all time. Because you got to understand, Eddie Murphy was 19, 20 years old when he did that. Right. And to have that amount of swag and that amount of confidence at that age is kind of unthinkable. And the following he had with nothing behind him but television. Yeah. Nothing behind him, no social media, there was nothing artificial. It was just like the purest, rawest. Eddie Murphy was like the Mike Tyson of comedy at that time. He was just kicking your ass with just raw power, brute strength on that stage. I mean, it was amazing. Finishing up with special. It's still funny now. Yeah, you're right. Finishing up with Special K, comedian on the Doug Stewart Show. Last thing for me, man. You mentioned earlier, we talked about it earlier. You're from Decatur, which is. It's not even a suburb. It's damn near Atlanta. I've been here 20 years. Decatur is the capital of Atlanta. I've been here Camel Road all day, baby. Columbia Drive, man. That's me. I've been here 20 years this year. How has Atlanta changed to you? Just say Atlanta when you were in high school at Columbia High to Atlanta now, and do you think the changes are good or bad? No, man, the changes are weird. I'm just going to put it out there. Atlanta has changed in the sense that me, you, your brother, and maybe 9 other dudes are the last straight men left in this city. Right. It's 13 straight men in Atlanta. That's it. Yeah. We are the strange ones now. That's how it's changed. Atlanta has become the gayest city on the face of the earth. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's what it is. That's the biggest change. Even before San Francisco? Man, but San Francisco looked like Detroit next to Atlanta, bro. Have you walked through a mall lately? Hey, bro. Dude, you got more unidentifiable. It's more Caitlyn Jenner's walking around here than in Caitlyn Jenner's house. Man, let me say this, Everybody is confused now, man. Let me say this, man. The boys are girls, the girls are boys, the men are women, the women are men. Atlanta is off the chain with that, man. I don't even know how to classify that. But it's just strange. Let me say this, and let me jump in and I'm going to let you finish what you were saying, but one of my earliest memories of moving to this city, man, and it's in pockets. I think you're kind of overstating that a little bit, but. No, man. No, bro. One of my earliest memories when I moved here is my first time going to Lenox Mall in the summertime on a Saturday. Like I was shocked. I mean, it was unbelievable, the scene there. Put it like that. Yeah. And they got y'all all scared to say it. Well, I tell you what. I ain't scared to say it, man. It's just strange. Look, I'm not gonna go down the whole. Some of my best friends are gay route. Even though that's true, I'm not gonna go down that road. But I'm just saying, it's remarkable. The level of acceptance, and I think it's more so in the black community here than even in the white community. It's like the acceptance level of the LGBT lifestyle. It's almost like it's become the popular thing to be. Yeah. And I think some people aren't even really
they ain't even really gay. They just like to be a part of something that's supposedly hot right now.
Right.
And I'm all down for being whoever you are, man. Whoever you are, whatever makes you happy, being with whoever makes you happy, I want you to do it because life is short. You ain't got time to go through life faking it and not being happy.
Right.
I'm just saying it is what it is. I still reserve the right to think certain things just look funny and strange to me.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I can tell you what, on this show, I mean, I don't know. I like the way I kind of do it, man, is I really don't even want to get into the conversation. But, yeah, it is definitely, you could definitely put it in the category of different / strange, the way the world, not just Atlanta, has changed over the last 20 years, and especially acceptance with this, with the gay lifestyle and now with the marriage. I mean, you know,
and
it's
the
different.
entertainment thing, the other big landscape that because I'm a part of it, I guess I see it more than somebody who's not a part of it. Everybody here is trying to be something.
Right.
Everybody here is in the studio. Everybody is a producer.
Right.
Everybody wants to be an actor. It's like the little L.A.
Right.
You know, everybody got these dreams, whether you have the potential or any kind of reality of reaching that dream. But everybody here is trying to be something or somebody.
That's actually a good thing, though, right?
I mean, that's a good thing. You know, people should have dreams. I'm not trying to, say you shouldn't have dreams, but it just seems like people come here with unrealistic expectations, like there's some magic come-up dust in the air.
Right.
That if you just hear, you're going to make it. You're going to be somebody.
Nah, it's not the
I
case.
mean, one more dude at the gas station giving me his mixtape. Swear to God. It's like, dog, I'm getting my Taco Bell. You putting hot sauce in my bag along with your mixtape. It's like, dude, you're not about to be a rapper, man. You 46.
That's
Let
funny.
it go.
That's funny. Yeah,
nothing wrong with having a dream, but you delusional.
You 46 and with a mixtape, that's not going to work, bro.
Yeah, with a mixtape.
Yeah. Hey, K,
man.
man.
Your cousin knows somebody who knows somebody. Nah, man. Those are the two biggest things about Atlanta, man. The landscape of what's the kind of what's acceptable and the whole entertainment thing. Those are the two humongous changes I've seen in the last 20 years.
Man, that's what's up. K, we went 2 segments, bro. I didn't even intend to do this. But good talking to you, man. Thank you very much for coming on, and I'll holler at you.
Well, thanks for inviting me, man. Love you always, brother.
Go ahead and give your website, your emails,
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
let me give all that, man. CoolKidComedy.com. KKK. For a lot of people in Atlanta, those are easy letters to remember. KKK, Cool Kid Comedy. Check me out on there. That's the website. And then you got the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Special K 913. At Twitter, Instagram, and all that. Periscope, of course, Special K913. Carl Douglas. That's who you're looking for. Karl Douglas. That's me. So when you see that beautiful picture pop up and you see that name under there, this is me. Hey.
Special K.
What can I say? Look out for the TV show Inside the Green Room, man. Coming soon.
There he is. Special K, comedian extraordinaire on the Doug Stewart Show. And, man, we went 2 segments with that, man. That's like the first time we've ever done that on the Doug Stewart Show. I kind of like that. What do y'all think about that interview? What Special K had to say? Yeah, I like that. I kind of like that. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we got to talk about Russell Wilson and Ciara. I might even still sing for y'all. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then we'll wrap today's show up, all right? Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
That was pretty good, man. I like that. We might do a little bit more of that type of thing on the Doug Stewart Show, man. That was pretty good. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And it is a Wild Out Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining your boy. You still got a couple seconds to call in if you like. As well as I'm going to read more of this chat. And we're going to get out of here, man. You heard the story about Russell Wilson, right? While speaking at the Rock Church in San Diego, Wilson claimed that God spoke to him just moments after he tossed the interception that lost the Super Bowl for the Seahawks, and explained why the interception took place. This is a quote. The play happens, and they pick the ball off, and I take 3 steps, and on the 3rd step, I mean, he's very particular about this. I mean, he's got all of the details of this story now. And on the 3rd play, on the 3rd step, God says to me, I'm using you. I want to see how you respond, but most importantly, I want them to see how you respond. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a second. And also, in this interview, he kind of disclosed that, you know, a young lady that he's seeing, Ciara, who's right here from the city of Atlanta, that they're gonna be abstinent. And he says that he actually had a conversation with Ciara and says, you know, are you okay with doing it like this and this, that, and the other? When I heard that story, first of all, a couple of things that you need to know about that relationship and about Ciara. Ciara's already got a kid, and I'm not sure if she was married to her baby daddy, and the father of the child is that rapper dude Future. So evidently she likes to mix it up a little bit already. It kind of reminds me of, you remember on A Different World, one of the later seasons in A Different World, when Jada Pinkett Smith's character, I can't remember her name on the show right now, she started messing with this dude on the show, and the dude says that he didn't want to have sex, and he was going to save himself to a marriage, and her character on the show was like, oh man, it really freaked her out. Yeah, and I know, studio audience, it really freaked her out. And what was this, 1992 or something like that? It really freaked out that, you know, she didn't want to, that a dude didn't want to get it on. So, I mean, I don't know what you really even say about this story. And Tree, can you jump on here for a second? I don't even know what you say about this story about her, him being, having a close relationship with God and wanting to abstain from sex and, this whole scenario between him and Ciara is very interesting. I don't want to call it strange. It's very interesting that a well-known, big-name athlete is very strong in his conviction with God, and has these strong convictions as well with abstaining from sex until they get married. What are your thoughts on this?
So, first of all, if God is telling you that, did you have to tell everybody? Let that be between you and God.
Now, do you think?
Because now you have put yourself, I think, in a compromising position. And then there's also, what is their definition of said sex?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me back up for a second. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Let me back up for a second. Do you think when he says God told him, you think he's meaning that figuratively, or do you think he really means that his conscience said to him, this, that, and the other? Do you really think that God, like Noah, like Bill Cosby, in the Bill Cosby album from back in the day, Noah, I want you to build an ark. You think God's actually talking to Russell Wilson?
I mean, God can be audible. It's however God, and your conscience is God if God created me in his image. So don't get me started on that. But I believe that I hear from God all the time through my conscience. He's not saying, hey, Tree, what's up? How you doing?
Right.
You know what? Don't go to work today. No, he's not talking to me like that. It's something inside of you.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's possible. I just don't know why he had to share that information. I don't know if he consulted with God about sharing that, because now you've put yourself, like I said, it feels like a setup internally, but also there's many definitions of abstaining. People create all kinds of things. I had a friend who said she was abstaining, but she provided other services.
Right.
But she called that abstaining.
So wait a minute. So other services don't qualify as having sex. And we're adults here. We know what you mean when you say other services. That's funny.
She said that. She was dead serious. She was like, I don't do that. I haven't done that in years. But then she said, but I have, I do other things.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Just be quiet. Just do what you do. I applaud you. Do what you do. But do you have to tell everybody?
Yeah. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And a lot of people, remember Russell Wilson took a lot of flack a while back because they kind of insinuated that this is the way they were telling the story, is that he wasn't black enough, which I don't understand that whole premise. But in effect, they were saying that he says and does all the right things and tries to kiss up to the front office of the team, and he kind of separates himself from the other players. He's not really one of the guys. I don't know if this is going to alienate him even more with the teammates. I don't know. I mean, religion is a very private thing, in my opinion. And
religion or spirituality?
Yeah.
Religion is a freaking... Don't say religion. Religion is not... It's spirituality that's private.
Okay, well, you know what I mean. He's very outspoken with his religion, with his stance on religion.
His relationship
with religion. I don't know if this is going to, how are his teammates going to take this? I guess when you take it back to sports, because, I mean, and I guess at the end of the day, this is good. I mean, how mad can you be at a guy for talking about, God and being comfortable in talking about God and religion? I don't know how mad you can be. It's just kind of interesting. I wonder how Ciara feel about this. I wish I could get Ciara on the show and be like, are you okay with this? And like Tree was saying a little bit earlier, I don't know, maybe she didn't say it on the show. Maybe she said it during the break. Do you want to go into a long-term relationship and a marriage and you don't know if your partner is a dud sexually or not? I mean, You kind of need to do a test run. You didn't say that?
That between me and you.
Oh.
No, but it's cool. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's real talk.
Yeah.
You need to know, because that is part of a marriage or whatever, a partnership.
Yeah.
That matters. And everyone that says that it doesn't, people who say looks don't matter, you're lying. And people who say that doesn't matter, you are lying. And there's somebody for everybody.
Yeah,
so
they
just got to get matched up with the right person. Test drive.
They're definitely lying. They say that don't matter. I mean, my gosh. So very interesting talk. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the politics of him getting his new contract, his new deal with the Seattle Seahawks, in which they haven't done yet, or what. I don't know if it's some type of play for him to try to get, paid and get the biggest and be the biggest contract in the NFL. I don't know what it is. But that's when you talk about guys being outspoken, and I like that now. Don't get me wrong. I like that. When you talk about guys being outspoken, this quantifies. I mean, big time. So bless his heart. Bless his heart. From Eugene Jackson, he says, or from Busa, BPA for Subway's Jared for looking at kids on the computer. Once again, the story doesn't say that now. I don't want to go ahead and convict this guy of this stuff, man, and that's not actually the case yet. When that becomes the case, though, or if that becomes the case, trust me, we're going to talk about it on this show. From Chico the Alpha, BPA to Jared, KC, when you got money, people are more willing to put up with your weirdness. And talking about, I guess we were talking about Jaden Smith a little bit earlier. From Brian Hill, Hollywood be changing ninjas. From Thorny Switch, same here, Grego. No clue if only he didn't choose Washington. I'm not sure exactly what she's talking about. Maybe Tree can refresh my memory. Clay Davis says, Sheed advisor, adulthood is a trick that parents put on their kids. I want to be at least 16 again and not pay any of them damn bills I have. Yeah, that would be great. From Vince Wright, weird indeed, but that's Hollywood. From Ms. Mocha-Bella, yes, they are weird in a different way. From P. Cola 3, and all talking about Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son. P. Cola 3, why didn't Willow put out an album? That single she had got some run. From the Brother Beloved, Doug, you know the phrase about the kids, free till he fool. Yeah, I've heard that before. My grandmother used to say that. From Chico to Alpha, I don't want my daughter touching Ish in the store. If it breaks, she's 3 and broke as hell. That's a pretty good one. That might be the post of the week. From Booster, my kids ain't touching Ish they can't pay for. Right. I think Tree had a little bit more liberal attitude to that conversation about your kids wilding out, not having reins on their asses when they little. But yeah, man, don't touch nothing. I mean, I can see my mother's face right now, and my mother, for people that listen to the show from my hometown, they think my mother's the sweetest person in the world. She is, technically. But my mother had a mean streak in her like no other. I mean, I can see her face right now back in 1979. Don't you touch that. Get your hands off of that. From Clay Davis, the Sheed advisor, we as black people are subconsciously trained to think a certain way. Uncle Mike, Will and Jada need to buy a Thorny Switch. From Boosa, Will and Jada is wild also. Oh, yeah, they wild. I mean, you've heard the stories.
Yes, they are.
You've heard the stories.
Speaking of
is it ever
Russell and Ciara.
Yeah. Are the stories confirmed that Will and Jada got like this open relationship? They like, I guess you could call them, even put them in the category of swingers. Is that true or what?
I'm pretty sure we can find interviews where they've spoken about it. One, and I'll have to look it up. I thought she said, like, it's almost like a known thing that every co-star that he does a movie with.
What?
You can tell, though. Have you ever seen how that chemistry he has?
He's an actor, though. He's an actor.
It's really strong.
It's too good.
You go back and watch. What's that movie with him and Charlize? Where he, like, has all these powers.
No clue. I've seen just about every Will Smith movie, but I'm not going to remember the title. I don't remember.
And then when he was Hitch, him and that Hispanic girl.
Yeah.
That ain't acting.
See, and that's the differences. That's how men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I say the man is just a good actor. You saying that he's trying to get it on with him.
I mean, that's the word on the street.
Yeah. From that ninja, he says fruity drinks are only acceptable if you are on a cruise. Yeah, or i.e. an island, Bahamas, Jamaica, something like that. And even then, no pictures. From Grego, he says Long Islands have 7 liquors. They are strong. No. No. But just if you got a name like Long Island, something T, I mean, that's disqualified. From Togo, Uganda, Cole, Ciara knows all about man laws. I'm just saying. From Booster, Russell Wilson is lying. Fatboy McCoon, as long as Chris Bosh wasn't there, is cool. All right, see now. Now that's classic right there. I mean, let's go ahead and end the show on that comment. I mean, let's go ahead and end the show on that one. Why you got to bring Chris Bosh into the conversation about dudes vacationing together? Hey, man.
So word on the street is
what?
About, I mean, I've heard stories about him.
Bosh?
Yeah. It's okay, though. This is 2015. You can have it your way.
Yeah, like Special K was just saying, man. In 2015, it's okay. It is okay. Man, thank you so much for joining me today on the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, the producer to the show, Waterhead Walter, Dwayne Bassan, Gerald Oliveri, my engineers. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it. Special shout out to Special K. What is it? Special K913. Check him out online on social media all over the place. Thank you very much. And a big shouts out, man, to all of the Stewies. Yes, sir. Thank y'all. I nub do. All right, we'll do it again tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday? Throwback Thursday. Yes, sir. Didn't get a chance to sing today, but I promise you, tomorrow, I am going to sing tomorrow. Trust me on that. Just trust me on that. All right? So, once again, tomorrow, same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace.